We have a problem, and it's a turtle-sized problem, and it's classic World of Warcraft. And this is the third most popular MMO in the Western world, with 1 being retail WoW and 2 being Final Fantasy XIV. And classic WoW, despite its ginormous popularity, has a lot of glaring problems. And one of the major ones is that the classic WoW player base hates itself almost as much as it hates other MMOs and changes. But that's mostly a symptom of a bigger problem in the classic ethos and the classic ecosystem. Because A, the classic player base is incredibly fragmented. From Cataclysm Classic, TBC Anniversary and Classic Anniversary, to MoP Classic soon, Classic Era, Season of Discovery. That's a lot of different servers. And I didn't even say hardcore. And B, the other major problem is the fact that everybody thinks that their version of World of Warcraft, their particular game mode is superior to yours. Their favorite should be the star, the golden child that gets all the attention, all the money, all the energy. And whether they're right or wrong is irrelevant, because they all think they're right. Which brings me to Project Xanaris, the RuneScape official private servers, and also brings me to Turtle WoW. Now most of you have heard of that private server and the critical acclaim it has, but I'm going to talk about that more later in the video. Going back to Project Xanaris, RuneScape essentially realized that they can't make everybody happy. Every time they put a poll or they do something, either the poll gets rigged or some changes happen or people don't like it and they regret their vote later on. And there's more and more complaints the longer a game goes on, because everybody thinks that was a bad decision, they should have done this. A is bad, let's do B. B was bad, we should have done A. A and B are both bad, we should have gone with C. And then some random guy goes, we should have gone with J, skipping every other thing on the way there. Which then brings me back to the classic player base and how they really play the game. Because like I said, a Cataclysm player is playing a vastly different game than a Season Discovery player who's playing a much different game than a classic Anniversary or Era player. This doesn't take into account the fact that there's a lot of people who are treating Anniversary as a TBC Anniversary waiting room. They don't even really care about Era or Anniversary. They're waiting for TBC. And how many people are waiting for Wrath of the Lich King? Or the Cataclysm players that are waiting for MoP or waiting to go through MoP War to play Legion Classic. Everybody is looking forward to playing Classic WoW in a completely different way for the most part, and very few people seem to want to acknowledge that problem. So let's start with Cataclysm into Mr. Pandaria. The amount of Cataclysm players who are playing Cataclysm because they're just not a fan of Anniversary or SOD, they want to play a faster paced, smoother game, so they're waiting for MoP. Or they want to go back to Wrath of the Lich King or TBC, but those aren't available. Whereas the MoP players, a lot of people don't even consider Mr. Pandaria to be classic, whereas classic's definition has now changed to not just being vanilla through Wrath or just vanilla, it's now every version of World of Warcraft that is not current. So eventually we will get to the War Within Classic in about 8-9 years, give or take, at the current pace. And then, like I said, we have Anniversary into TBC Anniversary. And Anniversary players despise Season of Discovery. A lot of classic purists think Season of Discovery is a terrible dogshit game mode and that should never have been made because it's a spit and stain on Classic's image. And then we have SOD into Classic Plus, and a lot of people consider SOD to be Classic Plus, but the devs have even said that Season of Discovery is not Classic Plus. It's just a game mode made to test things for the future. Now whether that future is Classic Plus or another season, it does not matter. But the devs have even said that Season of Discovery is not Classic Plus. And a lot of people both love it and hate it. Depending on who you ask, it is the best version of Classic World of Warcraft ever made, or it is the absolute worst version. Which then brings me to the problem of the lack of TBC era or Wrath of the Lich King era. Both of those servers should have had an era server from the beginning, because there's a large portion of the player base that just really wants to play those games and nothing but those games, like Classic Era. And that's not even starting on the gold problems or the devs being unable to really handle what every single community and player base wants. In Classic Anniversary, the price of a flask is 600 gold. And all of a sudden, hundreds, if not thousands upon thousands of players are taking 2-week or 3-week vacations due to IRL problems. Very coincidentally, at the same time, huge ban waves are going out. There is a large gold buying and gold selling problem that is incredibly hard to address and needs to be addressed. Which brings me on to Turtle WoW and how a lot of people consider Turtle WoW to be the real Classic Plus. Is it? No. But it is a close vision to what a lot of people envision Classic Plus to look like. An expansion on the vanilla world. New zones, new quests, new raids, new raid tiers, and very minimal class balance aside from making every class, quotation marks, playable. In fact, when they actually did some class balance changes on TWoW, a lot of people started complaining and hating on the game, saying this is no longer classic, this is a dogshit private server, I'm not playing anymore. Even private servers have the exact same problem that the devs have, that the current player base has. No one is happy because everyone thinks the version they love is the best version. And despite everybody screaming how perfect Total WoW is, almost nobody plays it. It has about 10,000 average players, give or take, at its peak. And the reason for that is, a lot of people will never play a private server. Ever. The reason's always different. They don't trust the person, it's a Russian server, I'm worried about my character being deleted, I'm worried about being banned by Blizzard, they don't like the client. For example, 1.12, they don't want to play on the older client because it's janky, they don't like how the smoothness of things are. Everyone has a different reason for why they'll never play on a private server. But a very, very large portion of the Classic player base will never touch a private server. Despite people saying Classic is amazing and the best version of the game, it was available for 15 years before they released in 2019, and those servers, not counting Nostalrius, very rarely broke the 100k mark, if ever. But it doesn't change the fact that we need to handle the problem. The Turtle WoW problem, the private server problem, the classic World of Warcraft player base problem. Everyone thinks their version of World of Warcraft is the best. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you you're wrong or your opinion is incorrect or invalid. But you cannot make everybody happy. It's physically not possible, especially with the classic player base. And everyone wants a completely different version of Classic, and no amount of promising, offering people different things will change that. Ask 10 people what Classic Plus is, and you will get 10 different answers. So when the devs do eventually make Classic Plus, or whatever they end up calling it, 9 out of 10 people are very likely going to be unhappy, and of the 9 people, 5 are begrudgingly going to accept it and be okay with it, and then grow to love it in the future. But that's why we need these private servers. Let people make their own official servers. At the same time, the Classic devs can make the official Classic Plus. They can keep the official servers and the official game modes. But by giving people the option, they're solving a lot of their problems. Because you can no longer say, devs are dog shit, game ruined, pick a private server and play it. I'm not here to defend the devs and say they're incapable of making mistakes or making the wrong decision. They're only human and they have corporate structures to follow. They don't make every decision perfectly, no matter how hard they try. And if they make official private servers, the money and funding will flow in. Classic's player base, Classic's player numbers will skyrocket. There's about 350, 400,000 active raiders now. That probably means there's about 1 million, maybe 1.5 million people playing, with the bots included. That's a pretty large player base. Absolutely huge. Most MMOs would kill for that numbers. You think Star Wars Old Republic would be a dying MMO if it had 1 million players? No, it would be thriving. EA would keep funding it. But the Classic player base views it as being a dead fucking game. It also addresses a lot of problems. No more OnlyFans hardcore DDoS issues. OnlyFans can launch the OnlyFans 3 server. They can have their own rule set, Soda can do whatever he wants, and just do the exact rules that they want to make the server and content pipeline be good. There's no more people going, Blizzard doesn't care about us, hardcore is this, hardcore is that. They're only rollback servers for the streamers. When it's your own private server, do what you want. Launch the game you want and attract the people that want to play your version of the game. Classic purists can get error set during 1.0, but they won't, because nobody really wants to play on 1.0. They want to play on 1.13, on the exact perfect setting that they view as being the final version. And if that's what you want to play on, that's okay. The Classic Plus or the Sword enthusiasts can get the super changed, hyper changed, all the class changes, all the world changes. You can play on your version of Classic Plus. Whichever one you choose to play on, you can play on it. TBC players can get TBC servers, whether there's TBC with 5x XP, or TBC with 0.5 XP, or TBC with hardcore. Same thing with Wrath of the Lich King, or Cataclysm Classic, or any future game mode that they add to the private server experience. By giving people official private servers, they solve the Classic problem. They solve the World of Warcraft problem. Blizzard lets the other people do the work for them. You have to pay to host your own server, and then people still have to pay a monthly subscription to play on the private servers. Despite all this, more and more people will subscribe to play Classic World of Warcraft than ever before, because it gives everybody the version of World of Warcraft that they want to play. No matter how you look at it, They can only make money with this. And everybody for the most part should be happy because you can play on official servers or official private servers. And this isn't perfect, but it's as close to perfect as we're going to get with how divided and divisive the player base is with World of Warcraft. This game is dear to a lot of people. It's incredibly important to a huge portion of the World of Warcraft community. So let people play the game the way they want to play. Thank you all for watching. If you disagree with this video, acceptable. Dislike and subscribe so you can hate my next video too. But if you liked it, subscribe and like this video so you can like my next one as well. Thank you all for watching. Ebonhard out. Peace.